let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most important shifts you can make in your career as a web designer. How to go from being just an order taker to becoming a truly strategic partner for your clients. And hey, welcome to the NVO's YouTube channel. Here, we break down actionable insights on web design, SEO, paid ads, and AI. All of it. Every explainer we do is packed with practical strategies you can use right away to build smarter systems, get better traffic, and really scale your business with confidence. Oh man. If you're a web designer, I know you've heard this one before, right? It's that classic line that just instantly tries to turn what you do into a cheap commodity. And honestly, this one sentence, it really captures the entire challenge we're talking about today. So how do you get above that conversation? How do you make yourself immune to that kind of comment? Well, it all starts with a huge shift in your mindset. See, the difference between a real expert and an amateur, it isn't just about how well you can code or design. It's about your entire approach. This quote from the future it absolutely nails it. An amateur hears the client say, "I need a new website," and they immediately jump in with ideas and solutions. But an expert, they take a step back. They pause, and they start asking questions because you never, ever prescribe before you diagnose. So you might be thinking, okay, but why is this so critical? Why not just build what the client asks for? Well, here's the secret. What they say they want is almost always just a solution they've diagnosed for themselves, for a much deeper problem they probably can't even put into words yet. And this really shows you the two different paths. The amateur is like someone who hears you cough and immediately says, "Oh, you need this specific cough syrup." They just assume they know what's wrong. But the expert, they're like a doctor or a really good car mechanic. They ask, "Where does it hurt? When did this start?" They know you can't possibly solve a problem that you don't fully understand. Jumping straight to a solution, that's just professional malpractice. Okay, so let's get super practical here. If you want to be that expert, you have to stop selling websites and start diagnosing business problems. Your job is to find out what the client really needs deep down, not just what they're asking for on the surface. And your most powerful tool for this? It's not some complicated framework or expensive software. It's incredibly simple. It's the word why. When a client says, "We need a new website," your first question is, "Okay, why do you feel you need one right now?" And when they say, "To get more engagement," you follow up with, "Interesting. Why is engagement the top priority for you?" You just keep peeling back the layers of that onion. You can really break this whole diagnostic process into 3 simple steps. First, just like we said, ask why over and over until you get past the fluff and really hit their core business goals. Second, that's when you uncover the real pain point. Maybe sales are dropping or their leads are just not good. And finally, you work with them to define what success looks like. What's the dream scenario in 6 months or a year? That's your new target. Now, once you've diagnosed the real problem, the next temptation is to just jump right into designing. But hold on. Before you even think about a single wireframe or color palette, you have to build the strategy. And strategy always begins with one person, the ideal customer. I mean, think about it. Everything you build has to be for someone. If you don't know exactly who that someone is, what they want, what their fears are, what they value, then you're basically just throwing darts in the dark and hoping one hits. Defining that person isn't just a nice to have, it is priority number 1. So what actually makes a customer ideal? Well, it usually comes down to 3 things. Number 1, you're actually passionate about helping these people. You care about their mission. Number 2, your specific skills are a perfect match for their specific problems. You can help them better than anyone else. And number 3, the relationship is prosperous for both of you. They get amazing results and you get paid what you're worth. Because when you don't have that crystal clear picture of your ideal customer, you will almost certainly fall into some very common and very damaging strategic traps. Let's talk about the 3 big don'ts that you have to avoid. First, don't try to be all things to all people. A website that's designed for everybody is a website that's truly designed for nobody. Second, don't make everything the top priority. You've seen those sites, right? If everything is screaming for attention, then nothing actually gets attention. And finally, don't make your user think. The path to whatever you want them to do, it should be so simple, so obvious, it feels effortless. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about actually building stuff, because there's a huge game changer here, and that's AI. We're seeing tools now that can literally code entire websites from just a simple text prompt. And this is where that expert mindset we've been talking about becomes more valuable than ever. Because AI is an incredible executor, but it is not a strategist. This whole new workflow has this really cool name, vibe coding. It's this idea that you can just describe the vibe or the high-level goal you're going for in plain English, and the AI will actually translate that into working code and prototypes. I mean, it's a massive, massive leap forward. But, and this is a big but, this technology is a total double-edged sword. On the one hand, yeah, it massively speeds up your workflow and lets you be more creative. But on the other hand, there are real risks. The code can be buggy, you can become way too reliant on the tool, and there's a real danger of losing your core skills. The expert knows how to use the good while watching out for the bad. Okay, so let's bring this all home. You've diagnosed the real problem. You've defined the ideal customer. You have a rock-solid strategy. You are no longer just an order taker. So why on earth would you still charge like one? It is time to completely change how you price your services. I love this quote from Jim Rohn. It just frames the value conversation perfectly. If what you're doing is going to create a huge transformative result for a client's business, then it deserves a proportional investment. You have to help them see that thinking they can solve $1 million problem with a $1,000 budget, it just doesn't add up. And this right here is the heart of it all. You are not selling hours from your day. You are not selling lines of code. You are selling outcomes. You're selling more leads. You're selling higher sales. You're selling a stronger brand. And your price has to be anchored to the value of that outcome, not how long it took you to get there. This slide just makes the whole shift crystal clear. The old way, that's just trading your time for money. It's being an order taker. But the new way, the strategic partner's way, is pricing based on the real, tangible business value you create. That is the ultimate payoff for making this mindset shift. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. As AI gets better and better and better at doing the what, building the components, writing the code, your most durable, your most valuable skill will be mastering the why. Why are we building this in the first place? Who are we really building it for? And what core business problem are we actually trying to solve? That is the work of a strategic partner.